Why does rain feel different indoors? Rain is odd. Not rain itself, of course. Rain is fairly straightforward. Water goes up, water comes down. The planet has apparently decided this arrangement works well enough and has stuck with it for several billion years. No, the strange part is something else. Rain outside is often miserable. Rain indoors is often wonderful. The same weather that makes people run for cover somehow becomes comforting the moment there's a roof involved. The rain doesn't change. Only the walls do. And yet, everything feels different. Perhaps the easiest way to notice this is to imagine two situations. In the first, you're walking home. Your shoes are wet. Your jacket is losing the battle. Water is finding increasingly creative ways to travel down the back of your neck. You glance at the sky and briefly consider filing a complaint with whoever is responsible for clouds. In this situation, rain is an enemy. A fairly mild enemy, but an enemy nonetheless. Now imagine something else. You're indoors. Rain spluttering against the window. The room is warm. The chair is soft. The storm is still there. In fact, you can probably hear it more clearly than before. And yet, the feeling is completely different. Which raises an interesting question. What exactly changed? Certainly not the rain. The rain has remained entirely consistent throughout this experiment. The clouds haven't changed. The weather did not receive any instructions to become more atmospheric. As far as the rain is concerned, it's business as usual. Perhaps what changed was your relationship to it. Human beings seem to enjoy danger, provided it remains theoretical. Ghost stories are enjoyable right up until the ghost arrives. Roller coasters are exciting largely because everyone involved has signed an agreement that the falling part isn't supposed to become permanent. Rain may belong in the same category. Outside, rain is a problem to solve. Inside, it becomes scenery. The distinction sounds small. It probably isn't. For most of human history, finding shelter was not automatic. A roof wasn't assumed. A bad roof mattered enormously. A good one mattered even more. There must have been evenings long before cities existed, when someone sat beneath a newly built shelter and listened to rain striking the roof overhead. And for the first time in hours, or perhaps days, nothing needed to be done. The weather could continue arguing with the outside world. The roof would handle things from here. Perhaps some small part of that feeling survived. There is another possibility too. Rain makes the world smaller. Not physically, obviously. The world tends to resist shrinking. But perceptually, it does an excellent impression of it. Distant hills disappear. Roads empty. People vanish indoors. The horizon pulls itself a little closer. A rainy evening can make a city feel surprisingly small. A house even smaller. A single room smaller still. The world contracts until it consists of little more than the space you're currently occupying. And strangely enough, that often feels nice. There is probably something to be said for sound as well. Rain is wonderfully uninterested in being the center of attention. It asks very little of you. It simply exists. Psychologists sometimes use the phrase soft fascination. Streams have it. Wind has it. Waves have it. Things that occupy just enough of your mind to quiet the louder thoughts for a while. Rain may be one of the best examples. It never quite repeats itself. Listen carefully enough and you'll notice that. The rhythm changes. The intensity shifts. A heavier burst against the window. A quieter moment against the roof. a distant gust of wind moving through trees you can't quite see. The pattern changes constantly, while somehow remaining familiar. A bit like fire, actually. Perhaps that is why people enjoy both for similar reasons. Neither demands attention. Neither entirely releases it either. Then there are the lights. Rain is surprisingly talented at improving lights. Street lamps become paintings. Shop windows become reflections. Entire cities appear to gain approximately 30% more atmosphere than usual. Tonight, somewhere in the world, someone is reading beside a window while rain taps softly against the glass. Someone else is listening to it from under blankets. Someone is watching streetlights reflected on wet pavement. Someone is sitting in a parked car for an extra few minutes before going inside. And despite living in different countries, different cities, perhaps even different centuries, I suspect all of them understand the feeling immediately. Maybe rain indoors feels different because it reminds us of something very old. The simple satisfaction of being warm while the world outside isn't. The quiet relief of knowing the storm is staying out there tonight. The small luxury of having nowhere else you need to be.